Hi guys, it's Angie with Fun Endeavors Tie-Dye Lab. Today let's make another rain-dyed shirt. This one I'm going to do an inclined double fan fold. The shirt was prepped like normal and I have it turned inside out. To start, I'm going to grab one corner of the hem of the shirt and I'm going to fold it up to the opposite corner of the shoulder of the shirt. This is going to be a diagonal fold across the shirt, and it's not going to be symmetrical. Now using a washable marker and a piece of kite string, I'm going to draw an arc or part of a circle on the shirt. I'm going to fan fold this line and I'm going to tie it with some kite string. Once I tie this initial line, I'm going to follow these folds and fan fold and tie on either side of this initial line. I was busy tying quite a few shirts the day that I tied this one, so after I tied it, I put it aside, and by the time I came back to it, it was completely dry. It doesn't necessarily have to be dry though, before you apply the dye. So it's lightly raining outside, and there's not a whole lot of wind, which is kind of unusual for where I live. Normally it's either super windy, or the rain is super hard. So I'm going to go ahead and rain dye this one. This is the perfect rain for a rain dye. I've placed the shirt inside of a piece of vinyl guttering and I'm going to divide it into sections. I want to use all the colors that you see over on the left hand side of your screen, but I'm also going to place a color in between. So I'm using a washable marker and drawing myself some guidelines for where I'd like to apply the dye. I'm also going to incline this shirt, so to make sure the shirt doesn't slide all the way down to the bottom of the piece of guttering, I'm going to tie a piece of kite string onto the end of the shirt and then clip the kite string onto the end of the piece of guttering. Because the shirt is completely dry, I'm going to spray it with a little bit of soda ash solution just to help keep the dye on the shirt a little better so that it kind of sticks to the shirt. And then when I take it outside, hopefully the dye is not going to blow around. In between all the colors, I'm going to put a line of bracken from Dharma Trading Company. So on every other line, I'm going to use the bracken. And I'm really trying not to put a whole lot of dye on the shirt. I'm only putting right on the line. I want to let the colors move a little bit more, and in the rain, I think the rain is going to move those colors down the shirt. On the remaining lines, I'm going to put the other colors. I'm starting with Margarita from Dye Spin, and then I have too many lines. I don't have enough colors for all the lines, so I'm going to have to repeat the Margarita down toward the end of the shirt. Then I'm going to use Grass Green from Pro Chemical, Flying Forest from Happy Cat Tie Dye, and Dark Forest from Die Spin. Here again, I'm only putting these colors right on the lines. Now I'm going to add an additional sprinkle of soda ash over the top of the die. And I'm going to take the shirt outside. I'm going to place it down inside of a container, and I'm going to put one end of the guttering down inside of the container and leave the other end hanging over the edge. That's going to put the shirt at an incline. This container is one that has about 7-inch tall sides. So I put it outside and I left it for about 18 hours. And like I said, the rain was fairly gentle, but it was raining continuously the whole 18 hours. Some of the rain was a little bit harder at times, but for the most part, it was a fairly gentle rain. I measured the muck down inside of the bottom of the container, and we got about 1.5 inches of rain that went through the shirt. It was pretty cold outside, so I took the shirt and just left it inside of the piece of vinyl guttering and placed the vinyl guttering down inside of another tub or tote. Then I put the lid on the tote and I left it inside to process for about 24 more hours. I wanted to make sure it got warm enough and processed in a place that was warm enough so that the dye would properly bond with the fabric. Then I took the shirt to my utility sink and I began rinsing it in cold water to rinse out the soda ash. I untied the shirt and warmed the water up to hot and continued rinsing in hot water to rinse out any of the excess dye that didn't bond with the fabric. I ended up doing the hot water soak that I normally do, where I soaked the shirt in some hot water with a little bit of Blue Dawn dish detergent added to the water. When the water cooled off, I changed it out and I continued that soaking process until the water was almost clear. Then I put the shirt along with some Dharma's Professional Textile Detergent into my washing machine and I washed it using a hot water cycle. Okay, so our rain dye has been washed, dried, and ironed, and this is what it looks like. Okay, so what do you guys think? I think this one is really pretty. I really love this effect that the rain dye did to this shirt. I'll be honest, I was a little bit concerned because there was so much rain that maybe the shirt wouldn't be quite as dark or vibrant. I was a little bit concerned that it may have washed out quite a bit of my soda ash. I mean, I did add some more on top, but 1.5 inches of rain is quite a bit of rain running through the shirt. But I think it turned out looking gorgeous. I love all the greens, and I like the bracket in between. That kind of breaks up the greens a little bit. It kind of sets each one apart and makes them stand out a little bit more, I think. So I really love the margarita, which I used at the very top and bottom of the shirt. That's the part that you see up at the shoulder and at the hem. And I think that color is just really pretty. The new color that I used was Flying Forest from Happy Cat. I've never used that one before, and that's the one that is kind of splitting out the turquoisey blue color, which I think looks pretty. Obviously, whenever I applied the dye to this shirt, I applied it to the back side of the shirt. That's kind of the problem I have sometimes when I tie shirts and I put them aside for several days, is it's very easy to lose track of what's the front and the back of the shirt. So it looks like the back is just a little bit darker, so that's probably where I applied the dye. It doesn't look bad though, because it's not drastically darker. When you see it in person, you don't notice it. I notice it in the photographs because I have them right up next to each other. But I love the dye movement on this shirt. I think it's just really cool how the dye just streaks down the shirt. I like this pattern or this design anyway. I do this one fairly often because I just think it's a cool look with the diagonal lines. But I think it works really well with the rain dye. What do you guys think? Do you like this design? Do you like this shirt? Please drop me some comments down below and let me know. We're headed into spring, so I'm kind of testing out some of these rain dyes because I think it's something fun to do. So if you guys have enjoyed watching this video, I sure would appreciate it if you would like it and subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you'll hit the bell, then you'll receive a notification whenever I upload a new video. Thank you all for watching, and I hope you have a great day.